Hello, welcome to Marketing Fridays, episode 7. Today we're going to be talking about the differences between automatic or automated marketing or marketing automation versus manual processes or manual marketing. And we're going to be highlighting the benefits and the pitfalls of both approaches. Then we're going to be talking and discussing visually how it would look, the difference between an automatic process and a manual process. So let's begin. First, we're going to have left on the left side we have the manual marketing process highlighted, and then on the right we have the automated marketing process. So I came up with different things to compare um, these two types of processes so that you can really figure out what are the benefits really in the end to do automated marketing. So the first one says time for setup. On average, it will take pretty much the same time to do the setup of manual processes as well as automated processes, in the sense that the things that you got to create, such as email templates or such as things that you need to set up in order to do marketing, they're going to be pretty much the same. You might have a little bit more work to do for the automated marketing part in terms of the technology, but let's say that on average it's going to be about the same. The overall effectiveness of the manual marketing process is going to be low. So when you're going to do things manually, the effectiveness in terms of saving time isn't going to be as good, because naturally you cannot do too many things with the short time that we have every day of 24 hours in our day. So compared to that, with marketing automation, you can have a lot more effectiveness by automating the process and letting the computer do things much faster than you can manually do it. So it's a much higher effectiveness on the automated side compared to the manual. When it comes to customization per user, that means how you're able to access and communicate with the user in a more personalized level. That means customizing how you communicate with them, in this case by email, or as well as any other method, obviously by phone or something else. When it comes to manual marketing, it's obviously way better because you're actually doing everything manually, which means you'd have to typically always, physically make a phone call or physically type in an email, and that's great, but of course that takes a long time. So it's great for customization, but it's really slow. When it comes to automated marketing processes, there's also the possibility of doing a lot of high customization, but that's going to be taking a lot more time to set it up. But once it's set up, it's going to be much faster, because once it's set up, it's all going to be working automatically. So in that sense, it's definitely better to do it automated uh, in the long term. When it comes to segmentation, so segmentation means filtering and dividing the contacts that you're looking for. When it comes to trying to do it manually, let's say that you're using Excel, it'll be really, really time consuming to try to segment your list on Excel. You'd have to use the filters, and you would need to know how to use Excel. If you do it, let's say from your phone, if you have your contacts on your phone or on your email, contacts is going to be really, really bad. But if you have a CRM, which is what we're promoting that you have as part of your marketing automation, to have a CRM with marketing automation, the segmentation of creating different types of lists based on what we usually call tags on your CRM are going to be much more efficient. So you can tag a lot of different contacts differently, and then you'll be able to segment them in a matter of minutes, really. All right. So now talking about reach, how many people can you reach when you're doing manual marketing versus automated marketing? Well, naturally, when you're doing it manually, there's a limited amount of contacts that you can physically reach out to, either by phone or by email every day. But the reach is much higher if you're automating it, because again, the computer is doing it for you, so it's much, much faster. Now, when it comes to lead scoring, and lead scoring, for those of you who do not know, lead scoring is the ability to assign a numeric value, in this case, literally like a score, to each of your leads based on how much they interact with you, or whatever definition of what you want to use to define the score for a lead. The most typical process when it comes to marketing automation for lead scoring is assigning a value for each web page that somebody visits on your website. So, using a system, usually through a CRM, you can track exactly how many pages are being visited on your website. And for example, you can say every different page is worth 1 point. So every time somebody goes from one page to another, they get 1 point. But let's say that they get to the how it works page, and that how it works page is much more important to you because it shows that your user is much more engaged and mostly more interested in what you're offering. So let's say that you can put the how it works page that it's worth 20 points. So after adding many points, let's say that you define that after the user reaches 100 points, that means that person for you it's engaged enough with you and interested enough, and then you can create an automated task or something that triggers that you get an email message that alerts you, hey, take a look at this person. They already got to a lead score of 100. You should probably take the phone and give them a call to see how you can help them. So lead scoring, when it comes to doing it manually, of course, it's much slower because you'd have to figure out, okay, every time you talk to them or every time you email them, you'd have to basically add a number or give them a manual score, which would take a long time to do for every person that you call or email. But when we're doing this through automation, basically you automatically track what people are visiting on their website, on your website, and there's many other ways to add uh, the number to the lead score, but definitely doing it through automation, it's much better and faster. When it comes to lead management, doing lead management manually, again through an Excel sheet or through your contacts on your email, it's going to be really slow. It's definitely compared to a CRM, which is why a CRM was invented to begin with. It means customer relationship management. So when it comes to lead management, if you're using a CRM, you can quickly search and type in the name, and you can look at all the notes of that lead. You can look at all the emails that were sent to that person, all the tasks that are related to it, any opportunities or deals of potential things that you're trying to sell to them. So a CRM and doing lead management through it, which is more automatic, it's much better. When it comes to time required, obviously manual processes are going to take lots of time to do, and naturally marketing automation is going to take less time. And for the same reason, in terms of you staffing people to help you for your marketing and sales, you would need less people if you're doing marketing automation, because the computer would be doing the work, and you would need more people if you're doing it manually. There's definitely a benefit of doing things manually, because these days it's even more and more rare that companies actually take up the phone and really call customers, right? Because we want to get to reach out as many people as possible with less amount of time. So actually taking the time to figure out who you want to contact and reaching out to them is actually a good thing, as long as you really target who you're trying to approach. When it comes to the cost, there's a much higher cost per lead or per sale when you're doing things manually, simply because of you taking longer to do everything, and your time is worth money. So the longer you take to reach people, the higher the cost of acquisition based on what the value of your time is. But when it comes to marketing automation, the cost per lead to acquire that lead or to acquire a sale is much lower, because you've saved time in doing a lot of these processes manually. I mean, automatically. Now, here's a diagram of what marketing automation looks like. Actually, no, first, this one talks about basic manual marketing automation. So this is the diagram that shows what happens when you're doing it manually. You first, let's say, attract a customer with advertising. Then that customer, hopefully, if they're interested, they're going to contact you. Then they're going to either call you, or they're going to come physically to your store, and they'll either buy or not buy, right? If they bought, well, great, good for you, you've made a sale. If they didn't, you gotta figure out, hey, did we get the contact's information, their phone number or their email? And hopefully you did, because if you did, then you'll be able to call them or send them an email later to follow up with them. So that's great. If you do get their contact information, you can manually follow up with them by phone, email, or by mail if you want to send them something to the mail. But if you didn't get their contact information, you're kind of out of luck, because there's no way you're going to get to reach that potential client again. They're going to go away and you will never hear from them. So this is if you do things manually. So now here's a small diagram talking about basic, very basic marketing automation. In this case, a marketing automation workflow. So here's the example. You want to attract customers to the website or to a landing page or whichever thing that you're using. Let's pretend that you're doing a Facebook ad, and people click on your ad, they come to your landing page or to your website, usually because you're offering something valuable like a lead magnet or some type of offer or access to a webinar or something like that. So they land on it. You're asking the user to go through your landing page to read a bit about what it is that you offer. And then you're usually asking them to click the CTA, the call to action button, to either sign up for something or basically fill out their form with the name and email. And if they do sign up, then you'll automatically follow up with them by email through the automation process. And in those emails, you are probably going to choose to use a link that sends them back to your website to buy something else from you or buy a subscription or whatever you want. So if you send them an email, they do click on the link and they buy something from you, great. If they don't, you already still have their email and you already have them on automation flow, so you can put them back into the sales funnel and send them another email until hopefully they'll become clients. But of course, if the visitor does not enroll and they do not sign up and they do not convert from an anonymous user into an engaged user who gave you their name and email, well, there's nothing really you can do because they chose not to engage with you and they did not give you their contact info. So after that happens, there's really nothing you can do. But that's just the way that the marketing world works. So I hope that's helped. I'm trying to keep these Marketing Fridays episodes short, but I definitely encourage you to ask me any questions that you have, and I'm going to definitely answer them below on the comments. All right? This is Jaime again from Bluminati, a marketing agency in San Diego, California, and hope you have a great weekend. Bye bye.